Hello students, good morning. How are you? I hope you all are fine. Today's lesson is about using the verb must. It's for grade 1, unit 4, and this is week 13. The lesson is presented by teacher Mahmoud Al-Haj Asad. First, we want to know the uses of the verb must and the negative form of it, mustn't. Let's start with must. We use the verb must to express obligation, something that is necessary. You have to do it. Let's give an example. You must go now. It's necessary to go right now. And the negative form is mustn't. Look at the correct pronunciation, mustn't. And we use mustn't to express prohibition, something that is prohibited or not allowed. Let's take an example. You mustn't talk in class, which means that you must listen to the teacher and not talk with your friends. I want to give you some notes about the verb must. The verb must is a modal verb. It has the same form with all subject pronouns. I, we, you, they, he, she, it. There is no difference in using must with all these subject pronouns. I want to give you two examples. They must leave before 10 a.m. She must do the washing up now. There is no difference in using must with they and must with she, which means that third person singular subjects are the same with must as the rest of the subject pronouns. The second note is the verb must is followed by a verb in the base form without to. Let's take an example. You must wake up early. Pay attention to the verb must is followed by a verb wake, and it's not followed by to. The interrogative is formed without do or does. Must he clean the car tomorrow? We can answer with yes or no. Yes, he does, or no, he doesn't. And pay attention that we formed the question without do or does. The negative form is formed without don't or doesn't. We can add not to the modal verb must, and the sentence is in the negative form. You mustn't play football in the street. Now, let's study the structure of the verb must in the three forms: affirmative, negative, and question. In the affirmative case, the verb must is after the subject and the verb after it is in the base form. You must put out the fire before you leave. Pay attention to the verb put. We used it in the base form. Another example. You must turn off the light when you go out. The verb turn is in the base form after the verb must. The negative form of the verb must is mustn't. Let's take an example. You mustn't make a fire in the forest. Another example, you mustn't drink water from rivers or lakes. And pay attention to the two verbs, make and drink. Both of them are in the base form. The last case is the question form, and the question form start with must. Must Ali take bottled water when he goes camping? Pay attention to the verb take is in the base form after must. We want to do this exercise and we want to fill in the blanks with must or mustn't. Pay attention to the meaning and try to choose the correct answer. Put out the fire, Tom. You space make a fire in the forest. According to the meaning of the sentence, is it allowed to make a fire in a forest? No, it's not allowed. So the correct answer is mustn't. You space take a tent and a sleeping bag when you go camping. What do you choose? Must or mustn't? Okay. Certainly must. You must take a tent and a sleeping bag when you go camping because you need to stay in a tent and sleep in a sleeping bag. It's cold. You space take a jacket when you go out. What do you expect the correct answer? Must or mustn't? Of course, the weather is cold, so you must take a jacket. The last example, Ahmed has got a toothache. He space eat chocolate. What do you expect the correct answer? Must or mustn't? If Ahmed has got a toothache, he mustn't eat chocolate. Now we want to do this exercise in the student book, page 53. You space forget to take a first aid kit with you on your trip. You mustn't forget. Number 2. I space do the washing up today. It's my turn. I must. You space wake James up. He's late for school again. James is late for school. We must make him to go to school at once. Must. 4. You space take a tent and a sleeping bag with you when you go camping. You must, because we need to stay in a tent and sleep in a sleeping bag. 5. You drink water from rivers or lakes when you are in a forest. You mustn't, because water may be polluted. You take bottled water with you. You must take bottled water with you. I space leave now. It's very late and it's getting dark. I must. All students do this exercise in your student's book. And as a homework in your workbooks, page 111, exercise B and C, you are asked to do these two exercises as a homework. I hope you understood the lesson well. Thank you and goodbye.